Hey, Shalom. That was a plantation a few hours ago. All the crazies are out. They're all out, man. The Most High hit me with a revelation, man. And I'm sure you brothers and sisters who are in the faith or who reside spiritually in the fold can relate. And that revelation is to hell with everything. Enjoy life in the spirit of the Most High while you're alive, and at the same time, grow in the spirit of Yahweh, and to hell with everything. All the brothers and sisters who are not on your side, family members who are not on your side, who refuse to respect and even honor you in your new walk, to hell with them. And I don't mean that in a negative. I mean, in this walk, nothing can get in your way. Nothing can get in your path. You understand what I'm saying? It's one thing when you have the haters who try to get in your way or become difficult or make life difficult for you. But you got some evil people, man, who hate the truth and hate our walk so much that they live to make life difficult for you as far as serving the Most High. I know a lot of you can relate to that, man. You've been in this long enough that these things you know. But occasionally, sometimes the Most High has to, nudge you and, open your eyes to a few things. Give us this day our daily bread. Our daily bread. Just enough to get by. I've learned that money, I hit that money every weekend. Every Shabbat, I talk about that money, and I'm not going to give you a break on that money because I know, and I say it every Shabbat, I know that money is the god of not just the heathen, but money is the god of our people as well. They hate change as far as serving the Most High. They hate change as far as doing what's right in the Holy Spirit. They hate change. They hate it. Let me set myself up, man. I'm not going to be too long. I ain't talked to you brothers and sisters since last Shabbat. Thought I'd kick it with you brothers and sisters for a while. I got a lot of energy today. I'm on some new herbs. Very important to maintain a healthy body and eat properly and cut back on your drinking. Not that I'm the most healthiest person in the world and I don't indulge in junk food. I'm just saying you have to be wary or concerned in certain cases as far as what you put in your bodies. I don't see the other camera. Where is it? Oh, there it is right here. Okay. You understand what I'm saying? But yeah, a lot is happening in the news. You see the Houthis are not backing down, and Trump threatened to smash them, put hell on them, and they still unleashing on Israel. Now they're unleashing on Israel, not just American ships, but Israel at that. And this thing is not going to go away, man. A lot of the people, they think this is going to go away. Matthew 24 will fulfill itself. It's not going any place anytime soon. So all the haters and unbelievers, all the cutthroats and I want to be an American, they're in for a rude awakening. When these alarms go off, can you imagine the terror that's in people's hearts when these alarms go off in Israel? Very painful to lose someone you love to bombs being dropped on their heads. Very painful, but that's the reality, man. But I want you to check this out. Let's just go in. Let's look deep into prophecy, and let's see who's winning. Is man winning, or is God winning? Is the white man winning, or is God winning? Is the black man or the Hispanic man winning, or is God winning, and is he calling the shots? People are very foolish today. They deny the Most High. Check it out.
Those are air raid sirens ringing out across Israel overnight after Yemen's Houthi rebels launched a missile targeting Tel Aviv's main airport. Israel's military says it intercepted the missile with no serious injuries reported. The latest attack by the Iranian-backed militants comes amid these recent U.S. airstrikes targeting the group, with President Trump warning Iran to stop providing the Houthis weapons, saying the group will be, quote, annihilated.
See, every move that Trump makes, the Most High makes a move, and he encourages the enemies, that the nations and the people that hate America. He encourages them to fight, to kill, to create bloodshed wherever this man's going. The white man, he's Cain. He's Cain, and he's a fugitive that has not been brought to justice. And a lot of you wrestle with that. You think because this man put on a suit, you think because this man gave you credit cards and Jeeps and rap music and fake hair, that all is cool and everything in the past is gone. God does not forget the past. Negroes, they forget the past. Dominicans and Puerto Ricans and Haitians, they forget the past, but the Most High doesn't forget the past. You understand what I'm saying? Those Hispanics that was loaded onto that plane and looking like complete idiots, getting their hair shaved off, they forgot how powerful the beast is. They forgot how powerful America is. They forgot the judgment of God, or have not learned the judgment of God, that this man is Esau, and you're Jacob. And you cannot go around prophecy. You cannot escape prophecy. What the Most High has laid down, that's what's going to come to pass. I was at work today, and I was saying, let me just read a couple of scriptures, because I've been kind of slack on scripture. And what came to my mind immediately, after walking through the dregs of our people, after walking through the homeless, after walking through the mentally distraught in Penn Station, who have no hope, who is totally broken down, who have succumbed and became victims of the beast. And as I walked past them, I thought, damn, I am blessed, because the Most High has elevated me and you, brothers and sisters, to the point where you are not victims of the beast. You understand what I'm saying? Check this out. Free Your Mind Friday, or so-called Friday. I want you to check this out, because this is so insane. This is so crazy, but at the same time, it's so simple to maintain yourself in the Most High. It's so right in your face that it's just mind-boggling, absolutely mind-boggling. In Colossians, to us who work a 9-to-5 and you're on your way to work, to those who are working at night and on your way home from work, in the spirit of the Most High, of course, I'm talking to you, brothers and sisters who are in the fold. Put my face up for this one. I'm talking to you, brothers and sisters who are in the fold. The Most High, he gives instructions. Even though we're around the devil, even though when all hope seems to fade away, even though when the thugs and the grimy ninjas are a problem in your life, or you have money issues, or the car notes can't be paid, the mortgage can't be paid, the rent can't be paid, the woman is acting up, the husband is acting up, the kids are acting up. The Most High says in Colossians 3 verse 1, which is one of my favorite chapters, if ye then be risen with Christ, I'm going to use the word Christ so everybody can understand. If ye then be risen with Christ, seek those things which are above. If you have now found this truth, or if you have been in this truth for a minute, and let's say hypothetically, you have forgotten that you are a man or a woman or a warrior that's supposed to be in a position where you have been risen with the Lord. So when I see my homeless brothers and sisters, when I see my drug addict brothers and sisters, when I see my hoes and my whores who are in a spiritual prison, because I thought the Lord, he came to free us from the prison. When you read the scriptures, Acts, what is it? I think it's Acts 38, the 38th chapter. I'll go there in a little while. I mean, the 8th chapter. I thought the Lord freed us from the prison through his blood. But at the same time, we are in hell and captivity, and it pains me to see our people in the position that they're in. Is it a judgment from the Most High? Is it a punishment? The majority of us believe in reincarnation. Are they being punished for past sins? We can't really put that on their heads, because these are brothers and sisters who may wake up. These are brothers and sisters who are at the bottom of hell who may wake up. Then you have brothers and sisters who are well off, but they suffering, well off, but they sniff coke, well off, but they whore themselves out. They're not homeless, but they're being punished by the Heavenly Father. Are these brothers and sisters ordained to be in that position forever? Are they being judged for past sins? We don't know. We don't know. We know us as believers and followers of Christ, Yahweh Shai, that we are to rise above politics, that we are to rise above college, we are to rise above the chase of money, we are to rise above the rat race. If ye then be risen with Christ, seek those things which are above. Do you know much problems would be alleviated out of your minds or out of your household if we took on this nature? Do you realize that? You wouldn't hate your brother or sister if you were risen with Christ. You wouldn't envy your brother or sister if you were risen with Christ. You wouldn't go into the Passover with hatred in your heart or grudge if you were risen with Christ. See, it sounds easy and like skippity dip, 1, 2, 3. I'm following Christ. I have no hatred. I'm the righteous Israelite. It's not that simple. I say it time and time again. The hardest thing to master in scripture. In other words, you can break down the prophets. You can break down history. You can break down Hebrew. You can go in the blue letter. You can go into the Bible dictionary. You can break down this and that. The hardest thing to master, in my opinion, spiritually and righteously, is the love of the brotherhood, is the love of the sisterhood, is the forgiveness of brothers and sisters. You understand? The hardest thing to master is that, in my opinion. If I'm wrong, prove me wrong. This is why we have the divide amongst the brothers and sisters. This is why we have the competition between camps. This is why we have the competition between brothers and sisters. Who knows more? I know more than you. I broke it down this way. I broke it down better than you. This is why we have these problems, because the aspect of brotherhood and love is the hardest thing to master when coming into the fold or coming into this faith. Look around you. Look at the camps. Look at the schools. Look around you. Are they unified? I'll even go this far. You don't even have to be unified. You can have a certain level of respect, for each other, even though you do separate Passovers, you do separate camps, you do separate schools. You can have a level of respect, and that's more honorable than having jealousy and pride and anger in you. That's better. And I'm not speaking from the perspective that I have mastered brotherhood and love. It's just something I have observed over the years within myself, within other brothers, within other sisters, within other camps or schools. It's just something I have observed. So today, I stumbled on this, and this is after I left some brothers and sisters who are in a deplorable state of spirit, man. I mean, it's to the point where the stench and the funk and the filth is so strong and so real, you cannot ignore this. And it's to the point where it's of the Most High, because throughout the years, the homeless situation in the downtown areas, not just in my city, but in your cities, the homeless situations, the mentally ill who wander the streets have gotten so bad, we are in the end times. Your children are so bad and so rude and so disrespectful, we are in the end times. They say you can measure a country or a nation by the state of its children and its women. And the children and the women are getting worse and worse every day. Nothing matters. So it's in our best interest to be risen with Christ, who we call in the Hebrew Yahweh Shai, if you want to survive, or if you want to see the Most High. It says, seek those things which are above, where Christ sitteth on the right hand of God. Set your affections on things above, meaning spiritual things, righteous things, things that connect with the Most High and the Son. Set your affections, meaning your spirit, on things above, not on things on earth. And that's very difficult. That's very difficult, because I'm shopping for cars and electronics and phones, and it's very difficult in a rat race not to have an affection for things on this earth. But with practice and examining yourselves, it becomes a lot easier. And, you're going to need that in these last days. You're going to need that in the future, because the devil is definitely running things on this planet right now, man, or in the minds of the people, at least. He's definitely running things as far as that's concerned. But that should not stop us. At the end of the day, we win. We win in the end. But the scripture says, he that endures to the end shall be saved. That's the key thing. It's one thing to come into faith, but to stay in the faith, that's a whole different story. That's a whole different story. So we all are plowmen, and we all are trying to do us right in the Most High. You understand? We all are trying to keep hold on the plow and not let go. And so many brothers and sisters have let go over the years. I saw a post today on Facebook, and it was a video, why I left the Hebrew Israelites movement. You goddamn idiot. You can't leave your nationality because you have a gripe with men, or if you're a sister, you have a gripe with another sister or men. You can't leave your nationality. And the Bible is perfect, man. The Bible is righteous. It's men that go off. So if anything, leave the men, but you can't leave the faith. What a stupid post or video. I didn't even watch the video. I just looked at the title because I've seen it so many times. And it's just for to get attention, clickbait. But what a dumb position to be in, man. Very dumb position to be in. But you got a lot of weak brothers and sisters who take that position. I don't respect brothers and sisters like that. I don't respect brothers and sisters that take that position, because in your spirit, you're weak, man. You are a weak brother or sister. You understand what I'm saying? That makes sense? I think that makes sense. Let's go back here. Let's check out what's happening as far as the Most High's judgment. Let's check this out. I didn't watch any of this. I just set it up, queued it up, and I just want to see what's happening myself.
Those are air raid sirens ringing out across Israel overnight after Yemen's Houthi rebels launched a missile targeting Tel Aviv's main airport. Israel's military says it intercepted the missile with no serious injuries reported. The latest attack by the Iranian-backed militants comes amid these recent U.S. airstrikes targeting the group, with President Trump warning Iran to stop providing the Houthis weapons, saying the group will be, quote, annihilated.
See, Iran is linked up with Russia, man. And if America attacks Iran, there's a good chance that Russia, as well as China, will attack America. You understand what I'm saying? So, war, you cannot get away from war. There's so much money and positions of power on the table. And everybody likes power. Everybody wants power. And if you have the power, you control the oil, you control the money, you control the people. But things have spun out of control for so long, man. For so long, the evil has grown so out of control that they can't turn it back. It's like a cancer that keeps growing, and growing. And the Most High, he's orchestrating everything. This is why it's so foolish to be outside of the word of the Most High today. It's a foolish man that turns away from the Most High in these times. And I spiritually, mathematically break it down for you every Shabbat. You can't go to college because you're not guaranteed a job if you go to college. You're not guaranteed a job if you go to college. And if you're making over $100,000 after you graduate, you can't even survive off of that. So the Most High put a big roadblock there, or a big brick wall when it comes to your education. Wall Street, you're not guaranteed anything in Wall Street. Look at all these Wall Street moguls that are selling their stock and buying gold. That's pulling out their money out of the market. Look at all the banks that are failing. Look at all the mortgages that are failing. So your money and what you invest in, you're not guaranteed safety in those areas. The Most High put a big wall and a block in front of that. Let's say you want to sell drugs. You're going to go to damn jail if you sell damn drugs. It's not like you can move like you on the crack corner in 1985. It don't fly anymore. So I can go on and on, but you see what I'm leading with, how spiritually, mathematically, I'm showing you there's no escape. And some brothers and sisters, they're going to try. You ever see a movie where a dude is trying to escape off an island with sharks and alligators, and he thinks he can make it, and he's swimming? I could do it. I could do it. And the people are cheering him on. Go ahead, go ahead. And the shark or the alligator eats the man up. They don't get far. But in their minds, the Negro mind, I'm talking about our people now. In the Negro mind, he thinks he's going to outdo the system. Then he thinks to hell with God. Then he thinks he's going to outsmart the devil and the Most High at the same time. You're not going to win. You're not going to win. A lot of you see this in your own families. You see your mothers, your fathers struggling and taking the jab. Struggling to make ends meet and taking the jab. Struggling to make it in America and tired as hell. We're blessed because we see what they cannot see. We hear what they cannot hear. You understand? So we're blessed. I'm gonna show you that real quick. Because the idiots out there who choose to be in the world just don't get it. We get it. We see. We see what the disciples saw. We see what our Lord saw. And we walk in that. You understand what I'm saying? Check this out real quick. I'm going to go back there in a little bit. Mark 4:11. It says, and he said unto them, this is the Lord speaking, Yahweh Shai, who they call Christ. And he said unto them, unto you it is given to know the mystery of the kingdom of the Most High. See that? So the kingdom of the Most High, how to get in the kingdom of the Most High. What the kingdom of the Most High is about is a mystery. But the Most High, he blessed you to know this mystery. You understand? Let's read on. But unto them, now the Most High, he's flipping it. He's flipping it. He dealt with you. He showed you your blessing. And now he's dealing with the opposition or the spiritually outcast temporarily, or the ones who don't know this truth. It's almost like we're Jacob and the outside of us is Esau. The Most High is giving us a blessing and he's showing a curse on our people as though they're Esau. Not that I'm saying they're Esau, but you get the point if you know the story of Esau and Jacob. Jacob had got his blessing, and then Esau got his blessing, but it wasn't a good blessing. You understand? But now the Lord said, but unto them that are without, all these things are done in parables. They don't understand. A parable is a statement or a sentence or an expression that's not meant for everybody to pick up on. So our people just don't get it. America is fitted to be destroyed. They just don't get it. America has done so much evil with this man running America that she cannot be saved. Trump cannot save America. The Democrats or the Republicans cannot save America. And people just don't get that. Hey, Shalom, Hawk. Shalom, brothers. Yeah, they are destroying. Well, they're not destroying it. What's happening is that they're moving it to the states. Initially, that's how it was. It was for the states. You understand? And there's so much corruption in there. And the students are so damn dumb. And there's so much money being traded under the table that they want to move it to the state. So New York will have their state as far as or their Department of Education. Philadelphia will have their Department of Education. Virginia will have their Department of Education, and the money that was in the Department of Education in under the feds, that money will be allocated to different states to budget and do what they do as far as educating the students. How that's going to work, I don't know. But what the left is doing, they trying to make it like all hell is breaking loose. He just killed the Department of Education. Now the students don't have no money or nowhere to go. That's not what's happening. There's a power struggle among these devils. There's a power struggle for the money and the control of the money. There's so much money being stolen, and we've been telling you this forever. Forever we've been telling you that they're stealing this money. Forever. And people didn't believe it. And that's just a fraction of what's being stolen. That's being revealed now. That's just a fraction. You'd be a damn fool to believe that this man is not stealing money. They stole money when they were the Romans. They stole money when they were the Greeks. They stole money throughout their whole history on this planet. There's nothing fair and square in America or this planet, man. It's always been that way. And it's going to continue to be that way till America is burned the hell up. And fortunately, we see it. We see it. And we see spiritual things. Not only do we see spiritual things, us who are in the fold, we see the wicked behavior of our enemies. We see the wicked behavior of our people. The Most High has given us brand new eyes to see what our forefathers saw in the past, brand new eyes to see prophecy that's going to open up the doors to the future, and brand new eyes to survive in this hellhole. That's why the Most High said, and he said unto them, unto you it is given to know the mystery of the kingdom of the Most High, but unto them that are without, all these things are done in parables, that seeing they may see and not perceive. They go that seeing. Remember I mentioned seeing? It says that seeing they may see. So they see the breakdowns. They see the 12 tribes, who they are. They see who Esau is. They see that America is going to be destroyed. But the Lord said, and not perceive. They don't understand. They don't understand. And hearing they may hear and not understand. See that? The Most High got them blinded. Lest at any time they should be converted, meaning change, and their sins should be forgiven them. See, this is why I said I can't judge to the point where I can say a brother or sister may never wake up, even though they're homeless. A sister may not wake up. She may be a hoe or a whore. She might wake up. A brother might wake up. He might have been a thief or just something in the negative. The Most High, he works how he works, and he wakes up who he wakes up. You understand? That's just how the Most High operates. I remember years ago, these two brothers, they came to the church, and one brother, I didn't think he was going to make it. I didn't think the Most High was going to use him or not at all. And his boy ended up coming into the fold, and the other brother went out in the world and became a savage. And it showed me that you don't know, man. You don't know. So in the last sentence, it says they should be converted and their sins should be forgiven of them. The Most High forgave the believer of his or her sins and brought them in the fold. Same thing happened to the brother I thought wasn't going to make it. He made it. The Most High forgave his sins and brought him into the fold. So you never know. You never know. The brother ended up going back in the world too. So that didn't work out. Well, in the long run, it didn't work out. It's one thing to come into faith, but to stay in, that's a whole different game, man. Check it out.
Night after Yemen's Houthi rebels launched a missile targeting Tel Aviv's main airport. Israel's military says it intercepted the missile with no serious injuries reported. The latest attack by the Iranian-backed militants comes amid these recent U.S. airstrikes targeting the group, with President Trump warning Iran to stop providing the Houthis weapons, saying the group will be, quote, annihilated.
So it's like a catch-22, man. You whatever you do, you end up in a worse position, because if the Most High wills it, it's going to happen. So you might attack. America may attack Iran, and Russia may attack America. You understand? America may attack China, and Russia may attack America, or China is speaking straight up about war now. We've been waiting for China to invade Taiwan for a minute now. So we're going to just watch to see how this plays out. But the point I'm making is that we see what's on the table, whereas our brothers and sisters who are in the world, they cannot see it. They can't see it totally. But as the money runs out and the pressure increases, the Most High says in their affliction, they're going to seek him early. That's what the Most High says. So we're not going to be too hard on our brothers and sisters, but at the same time, we are going to press them when we're on the highways and byways or doing sit downs. We're going to press them with the word of the Most High. We're going to put pressure on them and reveal their wicked doings. And when we see something in the news where the Most High is kicking them in their behind, we're going to let them know that that's the Most High. That's the Most High's judgment. And at some point, you better repent and change your ways. This ain't a time to be too soft with our brothers and sisters. We got to start putting on the pressure on them with wisdom and season with the spirit of the Most High, of course. But we got to upgrade to another level as far as waking up our people, a level in spirituality, of course.
Meanwhile, Israeli forces have resumed ground operations in southern and central Gaza, with strikes on the enclave overnight reportedly killing dozens of people.
Yeah, I heard it was more than that. I heard it was a lot more than that, man. So, you know, is blood everywhere. Then you have bloodshed in, don't forget, the Ukraine. Thousands and thousands die a day, man. So, you know, we just see it on the news and we just think it's a you know, just a skirmish. It's not a skirmish, man. These, you know, whole cities are being wiped out and bodies are everywhere, man. Bodies everywhere. So at the same time, it's all the Most High, and people don't realize that. And then, you know, what we don't take into account is that one day the Most High is going to use us to commit ourselves to his spirit, and we're going to be shedding blood. And the same way, you know, a lot of us can't fathom what's going on abroad. A lot of us don't see us doing that because they don't know our history. We have a long history of shedding blood to defend the word of the Most High, shedding blood to defend our people and our towns and our countries in times past. And the Most High is going to raise us up and bring us back to that position. The Christians don't talk about that. The Christians believe that God is all love. The Christians believe that God is not capable of raising up people like us to execute his vengeance. The Christians stop at vengeance is mine. See, vengeance is mine, God says. They stop there. But the scripture says in Ezekiel 25:14, it says, it says, I will lay my vengeance upon Edom by the hand of my people. See that? See that? I will lay my vengeance upon Edom by the hand of my people. We know this hasn't happened yet. So this is a future prophecy. And for us to do that, number one, the spirit has to be on us because, you know, a lot of us would try to save Esau or try to have mercy on Esau or Edom. Edom being the so-called white race. See, nobody can get that in their heads. They can't wrap their minds around that because this man has so much power. They don't see us dominating and ruling over them, number one, or even going to war to the point where we destroy the very people who destroyed us. People can't wrap their minds around that, but it's going to happen. The same way people can't wrap their minds around America being annihilated and destroyed. People don't see America burning up like prophecy is written in scripture. They don't see that. They see skate parties and rump shaking and diamonds and teeth and rapping and sports and clothing and the white man ruling forever. This is the mindset of our people, but every kingdom falls at some point. And I'm sure in the past, our forefathers never believed or ever thought that we would fall. I'm sure of that. But look now. Look what's happening. We never thought that a pandemic would hit. We never thought that. We never in a million years thought that people would die from a virus. Like in 2019 through 2020. We never thought that. We never thought that the country would be set on fire in different states by people trying to overturn the government. We never thought that. Even the white man, even he didn't think it would get this bad. This is why he's preparing. You think they're stupid? They are preparing for the collapse of America. The only one who's asleep is our people. They're asleep and they don't think that this is going to fall. And it's going to fall. But at the same time, God does exist. A lot of people don't believe that Christ is going to come back. Oh, you still believing in that sky daddy? They don't believe that. But in time, they're going to see, because right now the crumbs are still here. The food is still here. The alcohol is still here. Social media is still here. All these things are still here. So they don't believe that the Most High is real. They've been doing evil and wickedness for so long. They don't believe that a Christ exists. In Revelations 1 verse 7, it says, behold, he cometh with clouds. So they don't believe this is going to happen. They don't believe this. They don't believe that there's going to be a Lord and he's going to come and the blood is going to be up to a horse's bridle. They don't believe that the enemies are going to be taken down. There's going to be no more Wall Street, no more cinemas, no more movies. I look at the homeless and I look at their condition and I'm like, they have no clue. They just so strung out on drugs and alcohol and just have bitter lives that that's their new norm for them. Everybody has a somewhat of a norm that they have adjusted to. And unfortunately, the majority of the norms are negative. The norm for the majority of Black people and Hispanics is to be an American. This is why they say our country and our military. Meanwhile, you're treated like SH in the same country. It's going to be a time where the pain and anguish that you see abroad in Israel, in Gaza, in Central and South America, people who are killed and just buried, people who are killed for money or politics, that same thing is going to happen in America eventually. And what's happening, people they have become fat and lazy physically and spiritually to the point they can't imagine something like that happening. You can't imagine your daughter violated by 3 grown men, dirty, filthy old men drunk. You can't imagine that. A lot of you women who are comfortable, you can't imagine that happening to you. But what's going to happen when this system breaks down? The Most High shows us every day different examples of the system breaking down. When you have flags that represent Hamas on college campuses, that's a total disgrace and breakdown of the powers that be. They losing their power. When your child can be taken away from you because they consider it abuse because you won't let a boy be a girl or a girl be a boy, that's a total breakdown in a system. When you have money given to migrants in this country and the very people in this country are starving or can't make ends meet, or the repo man is taking away their cars, or the banks are foreclosing on their homes, that's a total breakdown of the system. When women rule over men, or men are put on child support to the point where if you didn't pay your child support, you're arrested, or you can't get a driver's license, or you can't get a passport, that's a total breakdown in the system. When veterans are in the streets, homeless, drunk, strung out, mentally ill, and people from other countries come to this country and reap the benefits of the taxpayers' dollars, that's a fall of the country. And I'm not promoting America. I'm not standing up for America. I'm simply showing you the same way Rome fell because of greed and conquering and doing dirt to other countries. America is that new Rome that must fall, and it will fall. But people can't see this. Remember, we went to Mark 4:11, and it said that we see, but they don't see. We hear, but they don't hear. So what's the outcome? Serve the Most High or serve the devil and die. Serve the Most High, keep the commandments, or serve the devil and die. Repent and love the Most High, love his commandments, or be evil and chase the bag and chase what the modern day Romans have laid out for you and die. Revelations 1:7 again, it says, behold, he cometh with clouds, and every eye shall see him. The believers and the unbelievers, the wicked and the righteous. Every eye shall see him, and they also which pierced him. He's back on earth too. And all the kindreds, check this out now. And all the kindreds, meaning all the nationalities that hate the Lord, that hate righteousness, that hate the Bible, that hate anything that makes sense according to righteousness, and all kindreds of the earth shall wail because of him. They're going to cry the hell out. And it says because of him. So all the gainsayers that scoffed at the Bible, all the women who scoffed at the Bible with their breasts out, to all the men that think that life is about money and hoes, they're going to see the Most High. They're going to see this truth. They're going to cry when they realize just how real the prophecy is. Right now, nobody cares. All right, it's cool. It's cool. You know what I tell myself? Do what you do. Do you. Do you. I'm going to do me in the Most High. I'm going to do me in the Most High. When I fall down, I'm going to get up, and I'm not going to give up. This is how you brothers got to roll. You can't give up. And check it out. You can't let them see you down. You can't let them see you weak. You can't let them see you crumble. Most of all, you can't let them see you lose faith. You understand what I'm saying? Because if they see that, it justifies their position in ignorance. It makes them feel like they're on the right path, and they were on the right path all along. Look, nigga, look, nigga. I knew it. I knew you, my boy. You, my boy. Smoke this blunt. You, my boy. I got holes in the back. Come on, let's get down. You know how our people get down. They can't wait to see you close the book, smoke some weed, lay down with some whores, and now you're one of them again. Put these damn horns back on your head. Huh? You know you miss these horns, these devilish horns. You know what it is. You know exactly what it is. But the key thing is they shall wail. And not just us, all the kindreds of the earth shall wail because of him. So now, if all the kindreds are going to wail because of him, when he comes, what's going to be our job? What is the Lord going to do with us? Are we going to still be out in the streets prophesying? It's going to be a whole game changer at that point. We go into the next level. If Christ comes back, according to what that just says, isn't that the vengeance of God? Think about this. If our Lord comes back and all the kindreds of the earth shall wail because of him, and all eyes shall see him, is that not the vengeance of the Most High? And does it just stop there? Ezekiel 25, verse 14, it says, and I will lay my vengeance upon Edom by the hand of my people, Israel. Why doesn't it say by the hand of spiritual Israelites? Why doesn't it say, like the Christians like to say, by the hands of all God's people and all nationalities? God don't see color, he sees your heart. Why doesn't it say that? Furthermore, why don't the Christians elaborate on these type of scriptures? Why don't the weaklings of our people who have become soft in spirit, why don't they elaborate on this aspect of scriptures? Tell me why. Why don't they elaborate on that portion of scripture? It's vengeance, isn't it? In Revelations 1 verse 7, it says, all eyes shall see the Lord, and when he comes back, they shall wail because of the Lord. It's vengeance, right? We know we don't have to go deep into it. We know when that happens, people die. The Lord said he giveth life and he kills and he creates darkness and light. So the Most High, he creates pain and suffering on the disobedient, right? Even I'm gonna go back to Colossians. I want to show you something in Colossians, because even in Colossians, the Most High says he visits the disobedient that we was in earlier. So I'm just saying, help me make sense of what we're reading, because both seem to elaborate on the judgment of the Most High and mainly the vengeance of the Most High. People don't like to use the word vengeance. It sounds evil. It sounds personal. People don't like to use that. People don't like to use that word. Look right here. I'm going to go back here again. We're back in Colossians. Check this out. I'm going to show you how I'm tying everything together. Colossians 3, verse, the 4th verse. It says, when Christ, who is our life, shall appear, then shall ye also appear with him. That's a good thing, right? We're all waiting for the Lord to come, and we all have mortified ourselves, meaning change our spirit to be like Christ. The first verse, again, it says, if ye then be risen with Christ, seek those things which are above, where Christ sitteth on the right hand of God. This is a good scripture to show that God and the Son of God are not the same people. They're two different entities. But the 4th verse says, when Christ, who is our life, shall appear, then shall ye also appear with him in glory. Mortify therefore your members, meaning change your ways. Mortify means to change. But we change in the spirit of Yahushua, who they call Christ. Mortify therefore your members which are upon the earth: fornication, uncleanness, inordinate affections. These are all the negatives. We know what fornication is. Uncleanness, we know what that is. inordinate affections, meaning men with men, women with women, being a freak, being a diva. It can apply to so many different things, but all those are inordinate affections, meaning out of order affections. You see where I'm going? Evil concupiscence, which is lust, and covetousness, which is idolatry. For which things sake the wrath of God cometh on the children of disobedience. You see that? For which things sake the wrath of God cometh on the children of disobedience, in which ye also walked sometime. Remember when you were doing dirty things? Remember when you had inordinate affections and evil concupiscence and covetousness and fornication? Remember when some of you, including myself, when we walked in that spirit? The 7th verse says, in the which ye also walked sometime when ye lived in them. See that? But now ye have put off all these things: anger, wrath, malice, blasphemy, filthy communications out of your mouth. See? So we've changed. It's the Shabbat. We could be in the bar. We could be on the corner smoking. We can be calling hoes over to hang out tonight, but we've changed. We no longer walk in the spirit of anger, wrath, malice, blasphemy, filthy communication. We remove that out of our mouth, meaning out of your spirit. You understand? So it's just strange that in Revelations 1 verse 7, it says, behold, he cometh with clouds, and every eye shall see him. Who's the every eye? Every man or woman who walked in disobedience, filthy communications, fornication, lust, as well as the brothers and sisters who have refrained from that spirit. And it says, and they also which pierced them, and all the kindreds of the earth shall wail because of him. Why are they wailing? Why are the kindreds of the earth? Why are they going to wail? Because they know that the judgment is going to come for all the dirt they've been doing. And vengeance is the Lord. The Christians say that vengeance is God. Don't they say that? They say, vengeance is God. You guys are teaching hate. Well, what about the scripture? He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. That happened already. It don't mean that. You know, you get all types of things thrown at you, but the truth. You understand? But in Ezekiel, vengeance is God. And he says, and I will lay my vengeance upon Edom by the hand of my people. Who is God's people? The children of Israel. God has a chosen people. The chosen people that God is going to use to execute his vengeance in certain cases are the children of Israel. And they shall do in Edom according to mine anger. You're not going to do what you're going to do. You're not going to say, well, today we're going to slay 2,000 Edomites. No, you're going to slay the amount that the Lord puts in your mind or in your spirit to slay. You're going to shackle the amount that the Most High tells you to shackle. You're going to execute God's vengeance according to God's spirit. King Saul didn't do that. The Most High, through Samuel, told Saul what to do and who to execute and to do his will. Did Saul do that? No, Saul did not do that. I think the Lord said something like rebellion is as witchcraft, something to that effect. But that's going to be a great day. It's going to be a marvelous day. But the point I brought this up, or many points, there's many reasons why I brought this up, but the main point I brought this up, in our minds, especially in the Negro mind, he don't think that this can happen. This is so far beyond his spiritual mental pay grade. He don't think that this can happen. But on the flip side, if you want to do spiritual mathematics again, we never thought we'd be sitting in our homes locked down because of a pandemic. We never thought that. And people were afraid. People were afraid. And this country, I got to be careful. How should I word this? This thing was manufactured, I believe, for a reason. I'm not going to go into it because I don't want to get a flag. You know the reason. And you know the Dr. Frankenstein that would do such a diabolical thing. So we never thought this would happen. If you go times past, way in the back, times past, we never thought we would fall as a people. We didn't think that. We thought we was gonna rule forever and ever because we were the chosen people of the Most High, and He loves us so much that we could never fall. Now, I wasn't there, but I can see that clear as day. I can see that clear as day. I can see us so proud and so arrogant and so full of ourselves that we would never think the Romans would take us down or the heathens themselves would take us down. I can see that clear as day because I know how the Negro mind thinks, and you know it too. You know how our people think. You know I'm right. You know I'm right. Even though it was prophesied, let me show you something. So it's prophesied that America will be destroyed. It's prophesied that the Lord would use us to execute his vengeance. We still have a problem wrapping our minds around that. But now if you go in during the time of Christ, let's go there real quick. Make this a little bigger so you can see it better. Simple spiritual mathematics. Okay. So we in the book of Luke 21. You know this story. 21, the diaspora. 21 and 20. And our Lord said, when ye shall see Jerusalem compassed with armies, then know that the desolation thereof is near. You think that all of our people believe this? You think they, in their minds, believe this nut calling himself the Son of God? This nut prophesying that he's written in the prophets and the law? This madman, that what he's saying is going to come to pass? This is how they viewed him. Some people, some of our people, a lot of our people. I'm telling you that you today represent the same man they label as a nut and a madman. You are miniature Yahushai's or Christ. And when you go out in the highways and byways and you prophesy and you speak and you say that this is not going to last long, brothers and sisters, the Lord is mad. He's going to destroy this place and you're going to rule over your oppressors. You're going to rule over your oppressors. They don't believe you. They don't believe you. And your brothers and sisters during the time when Jerusalem was compassed with armies, they didn't believe the Lord. They didn't believe the prophets. They didn't believe the men of the Most High as well back then. But look, it happened. And when ye shall see Jerusalem compassed with armies, then know that the desolation thereof is near. Then let them which are in Judea flee to the mountains. Get the hell out of Judea. And let them which are in the midst of it depart out. And let not them that are in the countries enter therein. That was our country. We had our temple there. Some of us had businesses there. We raised our children there. It was something that we owned that the Romans set up garrisons around, kicked us in our behinds. We had fake leaders back then. You have fake leaders today. You had sellouts back then. You have sellouts now. You had man pleasers licking the toes of the white man in that time as the Romans, and you have men pleasers today and women licking the toes of white politicians in Congress, white politicians in the Senate, white presidents. No new thing under the sun. You got the same thing happening all over again. Just in this time, it was the Romans. You see them. You see these black women yelling at the top of their voices at Trump, and then you got the ones that's following Trump, black politicians or just voters themselves yelling at the opposite side. You have the same damn thing happening all over again. So 22nd verse. For these be the days of what? Vengeance. There go that vengeance word again. The big V. For these be the days of vengeance. I thought vengeance was God alone. It is God alone, but he controls and he lays his vengeance the way he sees it fit. For these be the days of vengeance, that all things which are written, that all things which are written, that all things which are written may be fulfilled. How can you get around that? I guarantee you those Negroes in them times did not think that was going to go down that way. I guarantee you them same Negroes in that time in Judea believed that, okay, the Romans, they do have us oppressed, but we're going to be okay. Okay, the Romans do have us oppressed, but I'm going to learn Greek philosophies. Okay, the Romans do have us oppressed, but maybe I can get in their armies. Maybe I can be a spokesperson or jump into some form of politics with the Romans. You got the same crap happening now. Okay, the white man, he's ruling over us, but we're free now. We own homes and credit cards and cars. Okay, the white man, he oppresses us, but so what? One day he'll see me as his equal in America. Okay, the white man, he rules, but he can never fall. He has the money and the power. The same damn thing. And on both sides of time, the Most High talks about his vengeance. He talks about his vengeance. Again, 22nd verse says, for these be the days of vengeance, that all things which are written must be written, may be fulfilled. Sorry. 24th verse, I'm going to go right to the meat of the matter. It says, and they shall fall by the edge of the sword and shall be led captive into all nations. Into all nations. And Jerusalem shall be trodden down of the Gentiles until the times of the Gentiles be fulfilled. See that? Isn't that something? Isn't that something? Isn't that something? But the whole thing is based on, well, not the whole thing, but what I'm seeing is God's vengeance in all the verses, in all the scriptures that we just went through. So back here again in Ezekiel 25, verse 14, it says, and I will lay my vengeance upon I will lay my vengeance upon Edom by the hand of my people. So the Lord took vengeance on us. And now he's going to take vengeance on the children of Edom, which are the so-called Europeans today, by the hand of his people Israel. And they shall do in Edom according to my anger and according to my fury, and they shall know my vengeance, saith the Lord. See, they're going to know. Right now, they don't know that. They don't know that. They think that they're God and they have power. They're doing the same thing we did. We believe we could never fall. We would never fall, we believe. That's why the Lord said they shall know his vengeance. They must be broken to bow. The same way we had to be broken to bow, they have to be broken to bow down to the Most High. Every nation is going to serve the Most High. Every nation. Bottom line, none shall escape the wrath of the Most High. That's one. And at the end of the day, every nation will serve and worship the Most High in his laws and his righteousness. It's not going to be, well, I'm going to follow Islam and I'm going to follow Buddha, and you could be a Jehovah's Witness and you could be in this church and I could be in that church. Ain't going to be that. That's crazy. Isaiah 2 verse 2, it says, and it shall come to pass in the last days that the mountain of the Lord's house shall be established. See that? I wonder who's going to be running that house on earth. I wonder who's going to be running that house on earth. Is it going to be a conglomerate of all nationalities? You don't see that in the Old Testament. You don't see that in the New Testament, that all nations are going to come together as a rainbow and they're going to run the world and follow Jesus' commandments. And it shall come to pass in the last days that the Lord's house shall be established in the top of the mountains and shall be exalted above the hills. And all nations shall flow unto it. See that? All nations are going to bow and learn the ways of the Most High. All nations are going to serve the Most High, and they're going to serve us. It's not going to be no Congress and no Senate and no crooked politicians like you have now. All that has to be dismantled and destroyed when you read the scriptures. And that's logical. That's logical. The Most High says, no unclean thing shall enter into the kingdom of heaven. Everything you see now is unclean and corrupt. Sure, they hide it through television and a silver tongue damn politicians. But we're going to see. Sir, you are all Christians, bottom line. You are insane and you need to get off drugs. See, this is what he's one of the unbelievers. See, it's going to be a beautiful day when these fools that think in this capacity are judged. I hope he wakes up, but at the same time, I hope he gets out the way. But the bottom line is the Most High says, and many people shall go and say, come ye and let us go up to the mountain of the Lord, to the house of God, to the house of the God of Jacob, and he will teach us of his ways, and we will walk in his paths. For out of Zion shall go forth the law and the word of the Lord from Jerusalem. See that? And he shall judge among nations and shall rebuke many people, and they shall beat their swords into plowshares and their spears into pruning hooks. Nation shall not lift up sword against nation, neither shall they learn war anymore. That's going to be beautiful. That's going to be beautiful. You understand? But prior to that, there must be war. There must be war. Because it's the vengeance of the Most High. Like one more time, it says, and I will lay my vengeance upon Edom by the hand of my people Israel, and they shall do in Edom according to mine anger and according to my fury, and they shall know my vengeance, saith the Most High. Bottom line, everyone is going to bow to the Most High. Everyone is going to respect the Most High. Right now, it's just crazy. And the Most High will let that fly for a little bit. But we know from what we're seeing in this earth now, it's not much time. Check it out. I'm not going to keep you too long, all right?
President Trump sending a message to Iran on Truth Social saying Iran must stop the sending of these supplies immediately. Let the Houthis fight it out for themselves. They will be completely annihilated. The warning comes ahead of a White House meeting with Israel over Iran's nuclear program early next week. Fox News senior strategic analyst, retired four-star General Jack.
See, Trump is the great hope for the white man or white America. They want to bring back that old patriotic white man spirit. And it's not going to happen because the powers that be, they've become so Fruit Loopy and so weak that it's not going to happen. In the 50s and the 40s, young white males were proud to serve in this country. They were proud. They were proud to go to war for America. They were proud to Fly that American flag. That spirit is gone now. You don't see that anymore, like in times past. You see it here and there with a couple of country red necks, but overall, the American spirit is dead, man. I mean, you outsource your factories abroad for a cheaper buck in slave labor. And this is what Trump is trying to do. He's trying to bring the companies back and force them back by creating tariffs and taxes on American companies that went abroad. How the hell are you going to make a Ford truck or a Chevy truck and stand on American pride when they're made in damn Mexico? That don't make no damn sense. This country is so dependent on China because of everything that you make or get in this country comes from China, including drugs. You just make yourself weak, and America is very weak. America's not strong like she used to be, man. Do not let them fool you, and don't let the news fool you, man. They are a lot weaker than we know, and they're trying to get away from war. They don't want war. War is bad for business. War is bad for business, and this man can't go to war like he used to many years ago. So he's trying to quench the discord around the world, and it don't look too good.
Akin, remember, the president sent a letter to the Grand Ayatollah, said you have 2 months to comply or else all bets are off. How do you think Iran is digesting these messages from the Trump administration?
Well, certainly, I think based on the evidence that, the first administration that they dealt with, they know they're serious. That's number one. Listen, Iran is so much back on their heels, never have been in this place in 44 years. I mean, they're completely defenseless at home in terms of...
But is that 100% true? Is that 100% true? See, the beast is a power to be feared, especially if you're outside of the Most High. But at the same time, we have to equate judgment with what's happening in the world as well. So the same way he's asking, is Iran taking America serious? But what about the other countries that are aligned with Iran? Are they taking America serious? Do they fear America like the media wants you to believe? Remember our famous scripture in Obadiah? Obadiah 1 verse 7, it says, all the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee. See that? Have deceived thee. Who are they talking about? The children of Edom. The vision of Obadiah, thus saith the Lord Yahweh. This is the first verse. Concerning Edom, did the Most High said he's going to lay his vengeance on the children of Edom? Didn't the Most High said he was going to use us to execute his vengeance on the children of Edom? Isn't there a judgment on the children of Edom? Wasn't it prophesied in Deuteronomy 25 that Edom would live by the sword? It says, we have heard a rumor from the Lord, an ambassador is sent among the heathen. Arise ye and let us rise up against her in battle. So according to prophecy, these nations are not going to always be afraid of the children of Edom, meaning the so-called white race. They're not going to always be afraid of them. And the spirit in the other heathen nations is to arise against her in battle. Now, at one time, maybe they were afraid. At one time, they were doing business under the table. At one time, they respected Esau or the Edomites, so-called white people. And white people because of greed and money and a lust for oil, respected the other heathen. We know they did business with each other because when you read Revelations, the 18th chapter, it mentions when America is destroyed that the countries outside of America can't trade and make money like they did in times past. Fairly simple understanding. We know that if America is destroyed and the countries are crying and lamenting because it says no more can they buy this and A, B, and C and gold and silver and ivory and so on and so forth. In other words, free trade would be just totally gone when America is gone, pretty much. And it's a mark and symbol that God's judgment has come to pass when America is destroyed. But in your minds, in the white man's minds, in the average Negro and Hispanic man's mind, they don't believe that America can be nuked. They don't believe that this whole place can go up in flames because they don't believe in God. They don't believe or understand God. They've been conditioned to be slaves. They've been conditioned to be mortal, regular men. But us who are in the spirit of the Most High, we know the future of America. We know the power of the Most High. We know. We're not stupid. We know. But the other brothers and sisters, they're so far away from the truth of what the Most High is about. But the 7th verse says, all the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee and prevailed against thee. They that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee. And that's exactly what's happening. One of the major wounds is economics. This is why that tariff thing is such a big deal. They've been ripping off America for decades, man. For decades, they've been ripping him off. In other words, Trump is trying to impose a tariff on the other countries because, let's say, to make it simple, America was paying $10 in tariffs to France, $8 in tariffs to Russia, $7 in tariffs to, let's say, Japan and China. You know, they was paying $7, $8 here, $10 to this country, whereas they were only paying $1 to America. You understand? So you buy our cars for $10, $8, $4. This is China and Japan or whatever. But you buy, and you charge us that amount of money, $10, $20, so on and so forth. You understand? But America is getting the worst of the deal because they're paying 5 times that amount for their cars, if they're even selling the cars abroad. So now Trump is saying this has been going on for decades. I want to change this. And he's making the Democrats look stupid because he's saying, let's do a match. My $10 for your $10, my $5 for your $5. It's unfair on how it was done in times past. But us who are spiritual and know the nature of the beast, we know they're stealing that damn money. They're stealing that money. Even though America might pay such and such, they're stealing that money. They're getting that money back. We know these guys are corrupt. So, you know, the very nations that are against them have laid a wound under them. Under meaning your support or your foundation. In certain cases, it's finances. There's no understanding in him. 8th verse says, shall I not in that day, saith the Lord, even destroy the wise men out of Edom and the understanding out of Mount Esau? And that's exactly what's happening. That's exactly what's happening. So for when this man says, are these people afraid of America? You're a damn fool if you believe they're afraid of America totally. Don't get me wrong. America is no joke as well. But they have become very bold against America. And they have allies to help them out when America stretched forth her hands against them. Check it out.
United States cooperating. They know that. They've lost their strategic platform in Syria, and their proxies, except for the Houthis, have been decimated, and now the Houthis, are on the path to destruction as well. The one thing they have left that they're really holding on to and want to hold on to is their nuclear enterprise development. They know if they acquire a nuclear weapon, it guarantees the preservation of the regime in their minds. And that's why
So everybody, the beast oppresses everybody, man. Everybody knows the nature of the beast. And wherever this man goes, he conquers and he destroys and he perverts, because that's his nature. And I'm not trying to sound racist, but I mean, history, it tells this clear as day. This is the nature of the beast, and it will not change. You got Christian blacks, Christian Hispanics, Christian Indians, Christian all over the world. They think that Jesus is going to change this man as a whole. I'm not saying the effects of the Most High can't flip a heathen. I'm not saying that. I'm saying they can't be flipped to the point where they can't stop killing. They can't flip to the point where they stop poisoning. They cannot be flipped to the point where they stop stealing. And if you don't believe me, in just those aspects alone, read about Edom. Read the nature of the beast. This will not change. Anyone who thinks this is going to change, or if you're emotional and your feelings, that's what it is. You are not a man of wisdom. You are not a woman of wisdom. You are neither. You are an emotional child spiritually, because time and time again, this man had a position to change. Time and time again, he could have shown the truth. If they were the true, not even the true, but if they could change, why haven't they revealed your nationalities? Those of you who know you're Israelites. That's the basics. The basics is not giving you reparations. That's not the basics. The basic is not giving you food and your own land, because that's what the majority of our of Negroes talk about. The basics is showing you your nationality, opening the doors to the Vatican, and showing that the real Jews are people of color, the Hispanics are the people of the Most High. That's the truth. That's where it starts at. Once you know that, then you learn your nationality. Once you learn your nationality, then you start keeping the commandments of the Most High. But they know once you attach yourselves to the Most High, once you start following those commandments, once you in one accord, which will come one day, in one accord, face the east and pray to Yahweh, not your Udi and your Hua and all this crap. When you pray to Yahweh in one accord, in one spirit, and mainly in the spirit of brotherhood and love, and you connect with the Most High, they know that that's the end of them. So spies and agents and so on and so forth have to be mixed among us to slow us down. Then on a spiritual level, the devil has to hit us in the head here and there to slow us down. But this is not going to stop. The wars with the heathen and the fighting, it's not going to stop. Stop kidding yourselves. This is not going to get better. Not going to get better.
They've always wanted this weapon to begin with. So I think they're going to do everything they can to delay the inevitable, which was likely we're on a path to Israel-led, U.S.-supported strike to take down their nuclear enterprise as much as possible.
Do we do
coercive diplomacy first? That's what the president is doing, and then a follow.
The devil realizes that if their enemies have nuclear weapons, that's a big threat. That's a big threat, because Iran, they recognize America as the big Satan and Israel as the little Satan. And all they need is one nuke. If they can develop one nuke to be launched into Israel, could you imagine how devastating that would be? Could you imagine? Or one nuke, if it dropped in California, could you imagine how devastating that would be? But again, in the minds of our people, they can never see Brooklyn destroyed by a nuke. They can never see California destroyed by a nuke because their minds are small. Their minds have not developed spiritually. Very small minds now. They don't think that that's possible. They think that this man has been ruling for so long as a god. They don't think he can fall. They think this man is God. They think he's an evil man. They think he's unjust, but they see him as a god, and they see him as he cannot be defeated, but he will be defeated. He will be defeated. It's just a matter of time, and it's a matter, and it's prophecy. It's prophecy, but he will be defeated. Like I told you earlier, he's Cain. He's Cain, and a lot of people don't realize that. And he's a man on the loose, and he has not been brought to justice. And he's your brother, but the Most High gave him his prophecy and gave you your prophecies, and at the end you win. You win. Genesis 4, verse 8. Let me see. Let's start here. It says, I'll go to the first verse, I guess. It says, and Adam knew his wife, and she conceived and bare Cain, and said, I have gotten a man from the Lord. And again she bare his brother Abel, and Abel was a keeper of sheep, but Cain was a tiller of the ground. So Cain was a rough dude, man. Cain was a rough dude, and he worked hard, and he was a tiller of the ground, whereas his brother Cain was, pretty much laid back. He took care of sheep. There's nothing wrong with that. David, he took care of sheep. He took care of sheep, and the Lord recognized David as a man of the Lord, above his brothers. Then it says in the third verse, and in the process of time, it came to pass that Cain brought of the fruit of the ground an offering unto the Lord. So Cain, being a rebellious beast, didn't bring a blood offering. He brought stuff from the ground. You understand? That's the nature of the beast today. He don't respect the Most High. He say that God is a woman, teaches that to his children and children abroad. He says it's okay for men to be with men and women to be with women. You understand? That's the offering he's offering the world. As a world leader, that's what he's giving back to the world. All the transgressions and unfruitful way to break God's laws, that's what he's gifted the world with. He brought that garbage to Jamaica. He brought it to the Africans, and they don't want it. Then on another level, the food itself. The food is processed with all types of dyes and crap in it. Gives people cancer. But that's the nature of the beast. This is how he functions. Then you got RFK. He thinks he's going to clean that up. He's not going to clean that up because there's too much money involved in that too. You know how much money they make on poisoning people off these processed dinners and processed drinks and dichlorine number 5, red dye number 5, and fructose corn syrup and stuff and preservatives to keep things on the shelves longer. They make a grip off of that, man. You think you're going to turn that off? You're not going to turn that water off. This is the nature of that man. He has the nature and the spirit of Cain. And you're not going to change that. Third verse says, and in the process of time, it came to pass that Cain brought of the fruit of the ground an offering unto the Lord. Just rebellious and disrespectful as can be. And Abel, he also brought of the firstlings of his flock. See, so Abel did it the right way. He brought of the firstlings of his flock and the fat thereof. And the Lord had respect unto Abel and his offering. See, the Lord respected what Abel did. You understand? Abel did the right thing. It was in his nature to do what was right as far as serving the Most High. Even in our wickedness, some things we won't do that's outlandish that the heathen do. You understand what I'm saying? 5th verse says, but unto Cain and his offering, he had not respect. See, the Most High didn't respect Cain's offering. He bought damn tomatoes and damn cucumbers or whatever. He just didn't care, man. Didn't respect the Most High. And we got to turn away from a lot of what we have learned from the heathen, man. A lot of what we have learned from the heathen, we have to break out of that. You understand? Because when you're around the heathen too much, you lose sight of the Most High. You lose what the Most High respects. And this happened many times. This is why the Most High tells us in Ezekiel that when we're delivered from the four corners of the earth, we will be clean from all the filthiness of our idols. You understand what I'm saying? So you have to look at this from a spiritual perspective. Look at what's on the TV that goes into our kids' minds and what goes into our minds. Love and hip hop. Wives of LA. These things train women to be whores and sluts. That's what these shows do. And I guarantee you, the man that makes the majority of the money from those damn shows is the small hats, if you know what I mean, the J people. I guarantee you they make the lion's share of, that money from them shows. Even the cartoons are different. There's a lot of subliminal Fruit Loopy messages or spirit in a lot of these cartoons today that the kids are watching. The parents have no idea what's being pumped into the kids' minds. And this happens when we link up too hard with the heathen. Here's one right here. I'm going to go back to Genesis. Right here, Nehemiah 13, verse 23. It says, in those days also I saw Jews that married wives of Ashdod, Ammon, and Moab, heathens. So we willingly gave our sons and daughters to the heathen. Then what happened in the process of time? Let's read on. And their children spake half in the speech of Ashdod and could not speak in the Jews' language, but according to the language of each people, which were not our people. And I contended with them and cursed them and smote certain of them and plucked off their hair and made them swear by the Most High, saying, ye shall not give your daughters unto their sons, nor take their daughters unto your sons or for yourselves. Did not Solomon, king of Israel, sin by these things? Yet among many nations was there no king like him. So anybody can be a victim. Anybody can get trapped up into mixing or giving your kids to the heathen. Anybody can do that, get caught up. As wise as Solomon was, as spiritual as Solomon was, he fell victim to this. So this is a warning that if Solomon got burnt, any brother or sister can get burnt to the point where you will turn away from your God. You will turn away from your righteousness. You will turn away from the commandments. Anybody can get that smoke. Did not Solomon, king of Israel, sin by these things? Yet among many nations there were no king like him. Yet among many nations, was there no king like him, who was beloved of his God, and God made him king over all Israel. Nevertheless, even him did outlandish women cause to sin. Nevertheless, even him did outlandish women cause to sin. Shall we then hearken unto you to do all this great evil, to transgress against God, our God, in marrying strange wives? You see that? You see that? So anybody can fall, man. Anybody can fall or mess up when you turn away from the Most High. So don't be like Cain, be like Abel. Cain was rebellious. Cain wanted to do his thing. But unto Cain and to his offering he said he had not respect. And Cain was very wroth. Cain got mad at the Most High. He got mad at the Most High. And Cain was very wroth, and his countenance fell, meaning his spirit dropped to the point where the devil entered in there. And the Lord said unto Cain, why art thou wroth? Why are you mad, Cain? And why has thy countenance fallen? If thou doest well, meaning keep the commandments, obey him, be obedient to him. If thou doest well, shalt thou not be accepted? That's a question to us that's a question to us today. If we do well, shall not the Most High accept us? If we keep the commandments, shall not the Most High accept us? If we walk in the gospel and in the spirit of who they call Christ, we call him Yahushua, shall we not be accepted? If thou doest not well, sin lieth at the door, meaning Satan lies at the door if you do not well. And unto thee shall be his desire, and thou shalt rule over him. So when you do wrong, the Most High gives you over to the devil. You understand what I'm saying? And Cain talked with Abel, his brother, and it came to pass when they were in the field that Cain rose up against Abel and slew him. And the Lord said unto Cain, where is Abel thy brother? And he said, I know not. Am I my brother's keeper? Yes, you're supposed to be your brother's keeper. The Lord knew what he did. But the things written aforetime was written for our learning. But the Lord knew what Cain did. So not only was Cain rebellious with his offerings, not only was Cain wicked when his countenance fell and he was wroth at the Most High, but Cain also killed his brother. Who does that sound like? Who does that sound like? Who has that nature? Who has that beastly nature that hates the Most High, that tries to change the program of the Most High? He probably thought, well, I ain't going to get no blood sacrifice. This is good enough. These grapes will do just fine. Change it up. Who's changing up the most? The scripture says, who changed the word of the Most High into a lie? Who said that God could be a woman? Who said that God doesn't exist? Who created so many different religions or let religions just flow in opposed to the word of the Most High? Who took the Bible out of school? Who mainly teaches that the law is done away with? Who's going to celebrate Easter for the most part in a few weeks? What's going to happen in the Vatican during Easter, which is a completely pagan holiday that's not of the Most High? Who changed the truth of God into a lie? Who did that? That's not everybody. Who fits the bill or has the spirit of Cain? And he said, the Most High, what hast thou done? The voice of thy brother's blood crieth unto me from the ground. See, the Most High, he already knew. And now art thou cursed from the earth, which has opened up her mouth to receive thy brother's blood from thy hand. And when thou tillest the ground, it shall not henceforth yield unto thee her strength. And that's how it is now today. That's how it is today. That's a curse from the Most High. The ground doesn't produce to the full effect like it did when they were in the garden. Cain, Abel, Adam, Eve, because that's one of the curses of the Most High. And it's going to follow this man around wherever he goes in his rulership. Same way Israel. Israel's a damn dust bowl. Brother was telling me we should leave New York, leave New Jersey, leave Philadelphia, leave DC, and move to Israel. I haven't seen one video with Israel looking beautiful and green and nice. I'm sure they got places like that. But you Negroes who run to Israel, you ain't going to get in those type of places, not for the most part. All I see is dust and rocks. Look, King David had supper here. Look, 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 look. The mighty men bunked out right here. Look, 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 look. Look, the Lord did many miracles right here in this pool of water. That's all I see. But like total crap over there. So wherever this man goes, the earth is going to just be cursed till the Lord puts us back in the land. When we back in the land, it's going to be beautiful. It's going to be beautiful when we back in the land. But right now, nobody want to go over there. But it says, when thou tillest the ground, it shall not henceforth yield unto thee her strength. A fugitive and vagabond. See this? A fugitive and vagabond shalt thou be in the earth. And this man is a fugitive and a vagabond. And the so-called Arab people, they call him the great Satan. They hate this man. In South Africa, they hate this man. In Australia, the Aborigines, they hate this man. Only you so-called Negroes and Hispanics love this man. Only you so-called Negroes and Hispanics can't see the evil that's in this man historically and biblically. And Cain said unto the Lord, my punishment is greater than I can bear. Behold, thou hast driven me out this day from the face of the earth, and from thy face shall I be hid. And I shall be a fugitive and a vagabond in the earth. And it shall come to pass and it shall come to pass that everyone that findeth me shall slay me. Everyone that findeth me shall slay me. That sounds familiar? That sounds familiar? The book of Obadiah says that everyone that was confederate with him is against him. On a natural or low level, they call him the great Satan. They don't call Haitians the great Satan for some reason. They don't call the Arabs or the Chinese or the Japanese the great Satan for some reason. They call this man the great Satan. And everybody wants to be like the great Satan. You got Arabs wearing suits, business suits. You got Chinese and Japanese wearing business suits. Why aren't so-called white people and Negroes and people around the world wearing wooden shoes like they do in Japan? Why aren't they wearing the damn Frisbee hats like they do in China? Why is everybody mimicking this man and wearing a suit? Because he is the ruler of this earth. Job 9:24 says the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. You better believe it. Look like damn. All I see is rocks. Yo, when you brothers coming out here, we got a lot of women that need husbands. I ain't going out there. Come out to Demona. Ain't a goddamn thing over there that interests me over there. I'll stay in Babylon and until it burns. Got to be crazy. You don't ever see anything like that unless you're in a tourist area or something like that. I'm not saying it don't exist, but I haven't seen it. I'm sure you got some pockets or places here and there. But overall, rocks and sand and dirt. That's all you see. So this man, he's you know, I mean, that's clear. It says, I shall be a fugitive and a vagabond in the earth, and it shall come to pass that every one that findeth me shall slay me. Shall slay me. So that don't fit nobody but this one man. Everyone that findeth him shall slay him. So to me, that makes sense. I don't know how, I don't have to wrestle in my mind to make that logical and make sense. He's Cain today. He's Esau today. Not hard to figure out. And everybody want to be with him because he has the power. Isaiah 13, verse 14, it says, and it shall be as a chased roe and a sheep that no man taketh up. And every man shall turn to his own people. See? But the it is spiritually relating to the wicked man. The man that was Cain, the man that was Esau, the man that's a European today. He's going to be like the chased roe and a sheep as though no man taketh up. He's going to be an outcast. That's what he's going to be. And in the end, it says, every man shall turn to his own people and flee everyone to his own land, into his own land. This man has no land but the rocks and the caves. You understand what I'm saying? Not hard to figure out. Makes perfect sense. But I'm not going. I could go all night, man. I ain't gonna keep going, man. We'll hook up. We got to hook up tomorrow, and we'll continue tomorrow. But just keep that in mind, because the point is, people can't wrap their minds around the fall of America, who Esau is, or even who we are. Even who we are. They can't wrap their minds around that. And they can't wrap their minds around America falling. America will fall. Will fall. But let me get out. I'm going to go to bed, man. I want to watch the news. I want to find out what's happening at Uptown, at Columbia. I heard. Let me show you. I got to show you this before we go, man. These dudes folded like a cheap suit. Look at these. Remember they was out there beating on their bongos and going crazy? Look at this. Columbia University agrees to Trump's demand in effort to restore federal funding. He hit them for those 300 million, whatever it was, 350 million, 400 million. And now they folded, man. 400 million, here it is. It was today. This is the Trump administration, which concealed 400 million in grants, had ordered the school to implement a mask ban, so they can't hide behind the mask and beat on their bongos and tear things up. Now you know if they catch you, you get sent back to damn home. It says discipline protesters, reform, admission, and more. So money talks. I said this last week. I'm going to continue to say it. And every week I'm going to bring it up because I know money is God in this country. And once he said that the school is not going to get that money, it was a wrap. Remember the chick from Maine, the governor of Maine, who said she refused to stop men from playing in women's sports? And Trump said, all right, you do that, you'll get no funding. They folded within a week. Within a week, they folded in Maine. It was a wrap. So money talks, man. Don't be fooled. Money talks. If you don't believe money talks, you're crazy. You're crazy. I want to get the video up, but I don't think it's going to happen. Columbia University has agreed to a list of demands by the Trump administration in order to start negotiations on restoring the $400 million in federal funding that was stripped from the university earlier this month. Remember, we talked about that a few Shabbats back, representing a strike concession by the private university to the federal government. Money talks. Money talks. But listen, let me get out of here, man. All right, I'll see you brothers tomorrow. I see 6 people watching. Do me a favor, hit that like button for me, man. Hit that like button, dislike, share, whatever the case may be. Hit the like button, the 6 people watching, man. But I'm going to see you brothers and sisters tomorrow. Should be okay. Beautiful day in Manhattan. These devils called the cops on us again Saturday. When we went out Saturday, they called the cops on us again, man. So we're going to, after we do the feed, we're going to see if they're going to call the cops for the third time. I'm not going to turn up the volume on the speaking device for them to shut us down again. But damn, they it's a black woman too. Black woman with blonde hair. But anyway, you brothers, you stay in the spirit. Oh, yo, if you're doing a pass, well, it's too early to do the Passover, but those of you doing a Passover, be careful, man. Just be low key. The Most High has a way of operating around the Passover time. So don't get too caught up in anything crazy. Watch how you deal with your brothers. Watch what comes out your mouth, and stay focused in the Most High. All right, I'm out. Shalom.